Hey, what's going on, guys? So in today's video, I want to talk about toxicity in the Dead by Daylight community, but not in the way that you're probably used to. And while we're at it, we're going to look at a few things that I have been noticing happening, which I think causes a lot of the actual problems with this game and its player base. So I was browsing YouTube at 3 a.m. this morning.
Back with another 3 a.m. challenge. Today we're in an abandoned serial killer's house.
When I noticed a common theme with a lot of these videos being either toxic survivors or toxic killers, but there was one that actually caught my eye that I ended up clicking on and watching it, and that's the one I want to show you guys here first.
What is up, YouTube? Jamie aka Get Tilted back with another Dead by Daylight video. However, today we have something quite different. We have an extreme case of toxic survivor entitlement. Now, we've all experienced this tragic story. 4 survivors come into a match thinking, let's troll this Ash level killer. Thinking, we're gonna break him. He's gonna disconnect. Laughing every time they get me. Well, these 4 survivors learned very quickly that some killers can be just as toxic.
To be honest, I thought this was actually some genius level parody, but this dude is 100% serious. So I watched the whole video and there really isn't a single toxic thing on either side here. As you see, they keep saboing his hooks and he starts calling them out for being toxic and says he's gonna start being toxic right back. I mean, you could argue that his BMing at the end of the match is toxic, but other than that, these survivors they're just having fun. I mean, he even says GG after he 4Ks. I mean, he does close the hatch after baiting the Claudette to crawl to it, which is the BM I was talking about, but I mean, I think it was kind of funny. Still not really toxic. I mean, these are the type of matches I would love to get as killer. I would way rather 4 survivors hanging around for flashlight saves or sabo saves over 4 survivors sweat and gens with prove thyself and brand new parts any day of the week. I mean, too many times I've had matches where I get into one chase and all the gens are done and 6 minutes later it's already endgame. I mean, it also looks like the guy's kind of a newer player, which makes me wonder where he has already fostered this warped idea of what is toxic in a game. But how many of these videos actually have toxic behavior in them? Not surprising, very few have something going on that I would actually consider to be toxic. So what is toxic in Dead by Daylight? I think we would all agree that once it leaves the game and goes into the post-game chat or even real life with people telling each other to kill themselves or other horrific things, that would be considered toxic. Going into a streamer's chat to harass them after a game or target them for things outside of the game because they clicked at you or tunneled you or something, I hope we all agree that that's just bad. To be honest, there's very little that you can actually do in a video game to be toxic though, right? I mean, is BMing toxic? I'd say no, but some people would say yes, and I guess that's fine, but I think more if you hold a game hostage by body blocking so the game can't progress or force a DC, then that would be one of the few instances where in-game actions could actually be called toxic. But things like tunneling, teabagging, clicking, saboing, body blocking, in my opinion, are all fair plays because after all, it's just a freaking video game. Like, if you get killed by the same person over and over again in Call of Duty, would you say that that person was being toxic? Or if you were playing Fortnite and you came across someone that hasn't had a chance to find a weapon or resources, are you gonna wait and give them a chance to like even the playing field and collect some stuff before you go after them? Or are you just gonna freaking kill them right away? I'm gonna shoot them. I'd say that that's pretty much the Fortnite equivalent of tunneling someone off the hook, which people do all the time in that game. They aren't going out of their way to like care about how much fun you're having in the game, but arguably it just isn't toxic. They're just playing to win. So I guess we need to start looking at like, where does all this mentality come from? Like even me, when I first started playing Dead by Daylight, and now we're talking less than 20 hours in the game, I was yelling about being tunneled by killers or being camped, and I had no idea how to even play the game. I arguably didn't have enough in-game experience or time with the game to come across these conclusions on my own. So where did it come from? In my case, it came from playing with other people who had just a little more time in the game than I did, and they learned it from people who had been playing longer than them, and so on and so on. But where else? YouTube, streamers, Reddit, Twitter. I mean, I can't pinpoint the actual origin of this festering negativity in the player base because I haven't been around long enough, honestly. But what I can say is that it is still going strong in all of these places, and I think it might be too far gone, honestly, at this point to fix. So why am I even making this video? Well, I hope that holding some kind of mirror up to the community might be able to alleviate some of this bullshit, but even that I highly doubt. For some reason, this community loves watching people lose their minds in the endgame chat on YouTube, and people love seeing the other side, quote, get what they deserve. But if you check out my channel, you can say I play a lot of Killer and Survivor, and I think a lot of this us versus them entitlement and false narrative of toxicity comes from not really understanding the other side and what they're going through. The game can be really punishing to both sides. Both sides get out perked. Sometimes you lose to bad RNG, bad matchmaking, and sometimes you just get outplayed. But that said, no one in this game is entitled to a win, and you shouldn't take it out on the other side because you feel that way. At the end of the day, it's just a video game and you're supposed to be playing to have fun. I've said it before on this channel, but I think as a community, we really need to do a better job at remembering that the person on the other side is a human being. And even if they're being a little shit and clicking away at you the whole game or sweating for a win, they're still a person. And just because you had a crappy 15-minute match of Dead by Daylight doesn't mean you should go out of your way to be a bad human being in real life. And also, like, please drop this us versus them mentality on Killer and Survivor. I can't count how many times I've seen this stupid copy pasta about how I stand with my killer brethren or something like that. It's cringe, it's a video game, and it's not that serious. And also, if you're only playing one side, you're really missing out on an entirely different gameplay experience that might not only help you to understand the other side better, but could also make you a better player overall. Also, both sides are pretty fun. So with all that said, stop calling things toxic that just aren't and be nicer to each other. We all have lots of hours sunk into this game, and we all just want to have fun. And I don't know. I think I've gone far enough off topic here, so I guess I'm just going to wrap it up. But check out my channel for more DBD content, or check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/PeteGunShow. And most importantly, stay happy, healthy, sexy, and safe, and I will see you next time.